Welcome back to Caribbean Times News and concerns about Guyana's government. The Caribbean Guyana Institute for Democracy recently published a press release condemning the government of Guyana for trying to take away the education of an African Guyanese medical doctor who's on a postgraduate scholarship in Cuba. Well, earlier today, I talked to the president of the Caribbean Guyana Institute for Democracy, Mr. Rickford Burke, about this and other issues. Mr. Burke, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, this young man received a scholarship from Guyana's previous administration, the APNU-AFC coalition government. It was to pursue a postgraduate degree in endocrinology. Well, now we understand that scholarship is allegedly being threatened by the current administration after the student allegedly posted a Facebook Live video. What happened and what was the video about?
Well, my understanding is that a relative of the young man was fired from the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission. He had done nothing wrong. He has been an exemplary employee, and he was just terminated allegedly because he was black and presumed by the current government to be a supporter of the coalition. As you know, Alicia, 541 persons have been fired since August 2nd when this government was installed. They have arrested 4 opposition politicians, all African Guyanese. They have arrested 8 Elections Commission officials, all Afro-Guyanese. They have bypassed the Deputy Chief Medical Officer, who has a PhD in public health, apart from her medical degree. And they appointed a junior who's not qualified for the position above her. So this young man was saying, listen, as a young black professional, I don't see a future for me in Guyana based on what this government is doing. And as a result of that, the government claimed that he also posted, or they saw some posts on a Facebook account, allegedly with his name on it, saying burn the country down. He has denied that. The government has not given him any sort of due process. They have not asked him anything. The Minister of Public Services wrote a letter to the ambassador asking the ambassador to do everything in his power to make sure he doesn't graduate. Since then, the ambassador has written the school asking them to expel him. The ambassador has allegedly written the Cuban government asking them to revoke his visa and expel him from the country. Now, I'm not sure what the process is in Cuba, but I know he is 4 months from graduating. He's scheduled to graduate in February. Most likely his tuition would have already been paid, if you understand how universities work. So I'm not sure if the government has withdrawn the last semester payments for his tuition or what. But it's definitely unlawful. It's definitely unconstitutional. It's against due process. It's an affront to democracy and natural justice. You can't just accuse this man of something and just pull his scholarship and ask the Cuban government to do everything, the ambassador to do everything in his power to make sure he doesn't graduate. There's some element of triumphalism, of some sort of vindictiveness in that act, and we condemn it, and we will go all out to make sure that this doesn't happen. They can't just take away the education of the young man like that.
Quickly, I just want to also ask you about Guyana's main opposition leader, Joseph Harmon. He's making news this week, insisting that Guyana's 2021 local government elections must be held on time. That's in response to President Irfaan Ali's statement that the Guyana Elections Commission should be, quote, fixed before the elections can be held. What do you make of this latest controversy surrounding the local elections?
Well, first of all, by saying the Elections Commission should be fixed, what Mr. Ali means is that he wants all PPP people to dominate the Elections Commission. This is number one. Number two, the government has the PPP has a history of disregarding the Constitution when it comes to local government. When they were in power, they refused to hold local government elections for 20 years. For 20 years, between 1992 and 2015, they did not hold local government elections. And also what they did for areas of the country that are controlled by the coalition, which is the opposition party, they removed all the elected officials and appointed interim committees because they wanted to control the entire country.
Right. We have been following this story. I want to thank you for joining us, and we are going to keep following all of these stories to see what happens. That was Rickford Burke, the president of the Caribbean Guyana Institute for Democracy.